Hi, welcome to the Jeff and Jerry Show. My name is Jeff. I'm the Borough Manager of Mount Pleasant and my co-host.
Jerry Lucia, Mayor of Mount Pleasant.
So, Jerry, we're back at the school. We always do a show, it seems like once or twice a year at the high school.
Well, we try to because this is the heartbeat of the district, of our communities. You have to have a good school system. And we try to tell the public what is new and what is going on in the school district and to make education better for our district.
Well, there's been some changes this year. One of them we know of because Ramsey sits in the borough.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some changes throughout the district, and I think today we're going to talk to two of the principals, and I say that vice versa. There's principals about the change and also principals of the schools about some of the changes. So we're going to let them introduce themselves. And to my right,
Lance Bentler, principal at Ramsey Elementary School.
Scott Breyer, principal at Norvelt and Donegal Elementary Schools.
Gee, Scott, you got two in
yeah. How does that happen?
Boy. Is it double the pay?
No, it's not.
Well, we're going to negotiate that later on. Today we'll negotiate that for you. But Lance, you can cut your pay in half. Is that how you do that?
No.
That doesn't work either. Well, today we want to talk a little bit about the changes at the elementary school, or elementary, I guess, at the schools. So let's first talk about the new change. You want to explain it, Lance?
We went through a reconfiguration where we ended up closing Rumble Elementary, which was a K-1 building, and we have K-3 now at Donegal Elementary and at Norvelt Elementary, and then the entire 4 through 6 population of our district now attends Ramsey Elementary.
Now, this change has been in the works for a while.
Yes. Yeah, we planned over a year. We would meet every Wednesday for several hours, our team, and would plan this out. And we came up with this plan as being the best one that we presented to the board, and the board agreed with us, and then we proceeded forward with making it happen.
Why the change?
We felt a need with having multiple buildings in the district. Each building had a different identity, and they were doing things a little differently. Now that all the 4 through 6 is in one building for the district, we can have consistency with programming, with different activities and things we do with the kids.
Has busing been an effect of this change?
There was some busing issues.
Well, I was going to let you answer that question since you get paid double.
There were some busing issues, and one we have a new bus company this year, and so they had all new routes. We had routes put into place that never existed before because we were bringing kids from town to Norvelt, and kids from Norvelt into town, and kids from Donegal down to Ramsey. So a lot of challenges were there that hadn't been present before. But with the building levels working together, working with the busing company, I would say within the first day or two, we had a lot of the dismissal times, the arrival times, everything worked out. So a lot of people working together, and it was one of those things that until you actually put your plan into motion, you didn't see where a lot of the hiccups were going to be. So, thanks to the parents because they were patient throughout the whole thing. But I think on our end, from teachers to administrators to the bus company, working together within a matter of a couple of days, we probably had everything worked out. So it's fine now. We haven't had any issues. It's actually at Norvelt, it's been much smoother than I had expected it to be.
Do the kids like the going to different schools now?
Speaking with Mike, the kid, I work breakfast duty every day, so I see a lot of new faces coming in from town, and they love it. I love this building. I like being here. I see kids that I usually only saw playing soccer or playing baseball, so they see them on a regular basis now. Plus, I'm not that first grade kid in a building with a sixth grader.
Yeah.
Everyone else is pretty much my size, and I think they like that. I think they feel more comfortable. It has a different feel to it, and Lance had Rumbaugh that was all younger kids, but I had never been in a building that was just the primary grades. It definitely has a different feel to it. Those are smaller kids.
So what grades do you have now at Norvelt?
K to 3.
K to 3.
Same at Donegal too. K to 3.
Okay.
So.
Well, you can do all the planning. There's all kind of planning you can do, but until the first day the plan goes implemented, you never know how it's going to work 100%. I think as far as Ramsey being in the borough, the changeover has helped, especially with the traffic issue and picking up the walkers and having the parents wait for the kids.
Yeah, it definitely, we've seen a difference with that. Last year, traffic is always pretty crowded on that street, on Eagle Street there. That's one of the things you can't necessarily foresee. I thought it was going to increase some, but it actually decreased about 25%. Parents are having the kids ride the bus, and I think part of that is they have friends on the buses, and they enjoy riding and talking to their friends. So that has worked out a little bit better than I thought it would.
And they're a little older.
Yes, yeah, that helps too.
Riding the bus is probably easier for that grade level.
True. Very true.
Well, what grades do you have at Donegal, for instance?
K-3.
K to
K to 3. All the students in the district 4, 5, and 6 go to Ramsey.
All of them. Okay,
Right. So the primary grades we left it. If they're from Donegal, we left them at Donegal. If they're primary grades K to 3, down off of the mountain, they're coming to Norville.
So it's my understanding that other school districts have already implemented that program. Have they not?
Yeah, there have been other districts that have done similar reconfigurations. So we've looked at different things like that too, and we felt this was the best for our district.
Have you come across any negatives?
There's always some road bumps that, that you maybe don't
You didn't
foresee.
think we'd ask those kind of questions, did you?
I thought it would be coming. You always have some road bumps. I mean, like just band in general, and it's not a negative, but band director used to travel between the 3 elementaries that had 4, 5, and 6 kids, and now he's there at Ramsey every day. So when you're planning that, he's going to be there, but then you kind of got to realize, well, now he's displacing the music teacher that used to share that room. So where are you going to put her? And you find a place for her. And then something new that I haven't had before at my buildings is life skills. We have life skills kids that attend at Ramsey 4 to 6. I need a room for them. So, we took our computer lab and converted that into a life skills room. We already had a computer lab in the library, so now technology is taught in their rotations out of the library with library and music. The 3 of them shared a room there. And then we have 2 mobile lab carts of Chromebooks for the kids that can be wheeled right into the classrooms if the teachers need computers. So it's just thinking differently than how we've done things before.
I don't think the kids really care. I think that as long as they don't care what room they're in or where they go for the different classes. I mean, I think kids go along with everything.
The kids, like Scott said, it's been great. I mean, I was talking. I do lunch duties a lot, and I was talking to one of the girls the other day at the table. I said, "Did you guys know each other before this year?" And she's like, "No, I'm from Donegal. All these girls are from Ramsey." So they're making new friends. They're going over to each other's houses, and like Scott said before, they already played sports together. So now they're getting an opportunity to spend more time together, and the kids have been loving it. I've not seen
They
any
really
negatives.
didn't hook up before as friends until they got to the junior high.
Right.
Right.
Correct.
Mhm.
And I was fortunate enough I worked in the junior high last year. Lance had worked up here prior to going to Ramsey, so we would see that how the kids interacted once they got to the high school or to the junior high, and you have a month or so where they're still trying to find their friends and they're goofing off and trying. So we're heading that off now. They're getting to meet each other now in the elementary
Well,
schools, but they get along fine.
Scott, Lance explained it real well how everything's going at Ramsey, but he has 4th grade to 6th grade, right?
Yes.
Now you have kindergarten to 3rd grade,
Right.
and 3rd grade. I think yours is different.
Yeah, getting 307-year-olds on the correct bus at the end of the day creates some issues. It's one of those things we talked about. You can plan, but until you actually put it into place. So, the first day of school, getting 350 kids under the age of 8 on the correct bus was a little bit of a challenge. But that was one of the things that, as soon as that first day ended, got in contact with teachers, talked about it. How can we do things better? And I think the first day, the last student left Norville, it might have been 4:15 by the time we got everybody on the bus and got the buses out of there. by day 3, it was 3:40 when we got everyone out. So we cut a half hour off just by refining the process that we were doing at the end of the day. And, the parents helped out a lot in that because we changed the traffic patterns for drop-off and pick-up at Norvelt. We changed the procedures that had been in place for probably 25 years as to how people were dropping their kids off and picking them up. And parents have been great with that. Everybody's pitching. To say that it's one group that's made it work wouldn't be fair because everybody has changed and everybody has adapted to what we're doing. Right now, it's smooth. At the end of the day, we have 520 kids at Norvelt, and again, like the oldest ones, they're maybe 10 years old. We have them on buses and out of that building by 3:40 every day. So couldn't do that without the help of the parents and the staff and everybody involved.
I would think the teachers have made a big difference too.
Teachers have done a great job, fantastic job. Elementary, especially when you look down at the primary, a lot of them, they have 22 kids it's their own children every day. So they are very aware of what's going on. They make sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be. They take their time and dot their I's and cross their T's to make sure everything is right. And I'm happy for that because that's my biggest fear is, getting everybody home where they should be, and they do a great job of it. I mean, they've been fantastic.
Well, sometimes these changes can be good. I mean, it gets everybody back, maybe reinventing the school the way it's been doing it, making some changes. Everybody gets back on the same page again instead of doing the same thing over and over again for 20 years.
Well, one of the things that we talked about, Lance and I would talk about it all the time, was each building had their own identity, their own culture. And now that we brought them all together, we knew that was going to be a struggle to break down those barriers and to form new schools. And it's from parents to students to teachers to our PTO organization. Everyone's like, well, we used to do it this way and we used to do it that way. Well, we wanted to create one. And
a new atmosphere.
Exactly. And that's one of the things we both have been, talking about with our staff. Let's get out of that mode of this is how we used to do it and this is how we're going to do it now. This is a new school. Let's start over. Let's get things going in the right direction. Not that we weren't doing things right before, but now we got together and let's bring all the positives together. So that's been, I think if you ask both of us if there's been any bumps in the road, it hasn't been with the kids. It hasn't been with curriculum or instruction. It's just been creating that new culture within the building. That's been the biggest bump in the road for both of us.
Well, the thought of change always makes people speculate. And sometimes, speculation is just one of those things that people get in their heads and they're making all kind of concerns. But I think you brought up a good point. After the third day, I mean, things ran pretty smooth. And that's pretty quick when you make a change like this.
Very quick. It's been a lot better than I think either one of us could have imagined. It really has.
Well, we watched Lance up until the very first day that school started. He was worried if the building was going to be done on the remodeling.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a little bit about the remodeling, because not only did we change the grades at the schools, but I think both of you had some remodeling, haven't you?
There were some projects done. We pretty much doubled the number of vans and buses we had coming into Ramsey. So we had to figure a way to stage them somewhere so they're not on the street blocking traffic. So we actually do put the vans on our blacktop, and we just resurfaced the ramp so they're not scraping now. But we dismiss in phases. We have 3 buses that are in the alley that we call first. Once they're loaded, we send them. We call out all the vans. Once the vans are loaded, we send them and we call out 3 buses that are lined up right in front of the gym, and then we have 2 more that come in after that. I'm roughly around 480, and yesterday we got 480 kids out of the school either by walking or on the bus within 10 minutes, so we were very happy with that. That was our target goal. Big project at Ramsey was the cafeteria. Whenever you're going to add as many kids to that building as we were, I used to have 5 lunch periods. I could really only fit about 80 to 90 kids in there at one time, and that was a problem. So the district did move forward plans, and they expanded the CAF. I can fit 195 kids down there now. We still do one grade level at a time, but I was able to go down from 5 lunches to 3. We added 2 serving lines. That was a concern for me at first, just trying to get 150 kids through in a half hour when we were only getting 75 kids before through in a half hour. But adding the second serving line and having 2 keypads with 1 register is working great. The kids are usually through in about 15 minutes to where they're sitting with the lunch in front of them. The kids love the calf. They've never had a calf like that in any of the elementaries before.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. We took a tour, and it's really nice.
Yeah, it's air conditioned for the kids, which is really good because that building does get hot. But there's TVs, a projector screen that's hidden in the ceiling that comes down. We still need to put the projector in, so we're finishing a few things up. But teachers can take their classes down and use that whenever lunches aren't in session. I know they're doing programs in the evening out of there. I held a faculty meeting yesterday to use the technology down there, so it's been a great addition.
I still think Scott has more to do. I mean, he has a little kids.
Well, I think he does too. You can tell when he listens to Lance, he keeps going like this, like it's no big deal.
I think Lance laid a lot of this plan out.
But Scott, how about the schools that any improvements?
We have quite a few improvements. If you looked at Norvell from the outside, you probably wouldn't recognize anything. There's not any addition to the structure as we did at Ramsey. However, if you came in, the cafeteria has been redone. There's a new floor. There's tile work. There's air conditioning in the cafeteria. So the cafeteria is very nice. And throughout the school, we had new blinds in our classrooms. We had some drainage issues that have been taken care of. So a lot of work that was needed had been done. There's new padding in the gym. It looks nice. So aesthetically, there's a lot that's happened to the building on the interior, and it's really nice. I mean, the cafeteria is really nice done. I mean, it's a big room. It's larger than the one at Ramsey, but with the tile work and the new floor and the air conditioning, it's really a nice space right now. Donegal, we got new cafeteria tables. We had some work with doors and things like that up there that have made it a much better building. So while neither one of those buildings had any construction or additions to it, there was some needed work that was completed, and they're both really nice buildings right now.
When changes are made like that, you get a lot of input by the principals and the teachers, and go through a little bit about how these changes are made.
We did have a committee. We had teachers on it. The principals were on it. We also had community members on it. We each picked a parent to represent the building they were coming from, so they could have input and hear what our thoughts were, and we could hear what their thoughts and concerns were. And they gave us some valuable things to consider too, that we took into account, and that we were able to head off before it became a problem after we went this route. But
yeah, there was no lack of planning in terms of making this move. We were meeting on a weekly basis
yes.
As an administrative team, but with parents and teachers a couple times a year. So, and we did take their input to heart and put that into place. So it wasn't, from the outside, I'm not sure what the perception is of how this change was made, but there was a lot of planning that went in down to the very, very fine details. So a lot went into it.
I don't think we heard negative. Did you remember, Jerry, any negative about?
I really didn't. And usually in small town you hear it. But
Yeah.
No. And did the superintendent react very favorable all the time for you?
oh yes, yeah. He's been great, very supportive.
Almost as if he sits in a room all the time, huh?
He helped with the planning stages
I saw
too,
him
so.
at Ramsey quite often. Yes.
Yeah.
Is there still a work in progress, or you think at this point we're just fine tuning it? But is there a work in progress yet? Is there still some changes to be made?
I think the kids are fine. I always knew the kids would be fine. I think the adults, we still gotta sell them a little bit on it. I think if you give it a year or two, nobody will remember it. It's just going to be Norvell,
Yeah,
Donegal,
you're
and
right.
Ramsey.
Once that first year is over and it worked and everything went smoothly, the next class will come in and nothing to it.
Yeah, I think that, but I think we're always going to be evaluating what we're doing and see.
Well,
There's
that's-
always going to be
yeah.
room to improve, and but yeah, I'm sure at the end of this year we're going to look at, on a building level we do all the time. How's our schedule work? We'll talk to the teachers. There are things that need to be made. So internally we're always doing that, but as a district, I think we're at that point now where we're just constantly evaluating what we're doing and trying to get better at what we're doing. So.
Did the teachers accept all this change in a fashionable way?
Yeah, I mean, you've had buildings that have been together and staff that's been together a very long time, and that kind of change is hard because you're a family, and now
Yeah.
you're kind of splitting the family
Yeah.
up. But the staff that has come to my building have been great. They're all working as teams. I cannot be happier with my 4th, 5th, and 6th grade teams. Everyone's working together. The staff he got from me was a very good staff, and I'm sure he's going to be very happy with them as well. But it was a hard change for them, moving rooms that they've been in for a long time, moving buildings, getting different kids. It's a change, but they've accepted it, and I think they're seeing positives out of it.
Yeah, I think I think that if there were issues with teachers, it wasn't from a professional standpoint. They're going to teach, and they're going to continue to teach
They're professionals.
the grades, right? The issues that they had were you form relationships with people. They probably worked with people for 20, 25 years, and they're probably some of their closest friends, and now they're not in the same building anymore. And you just had some customs and things that were done in certain buildings that aren't there anymore. So that if there's struggles, that's where the struggles lie. It's not within the job that they have to do. They're in a position right now where our resources have been pulled together. Everything's been combined, so they might have more at their fingertips now than they've had in the past. And now instead of working with one person on my class level, I'm working with 5 additional people. So the collaboration and the teamwork, those kind of things have increased. So if there is a negative, it's more on the social aspect and who my, the people that I had friendships with and relationships with may not be there anymore.
How long have you been in the school district, Scott?
19 years.
How about you, Lance?
This is my 17th year.
So, that many years, has to be one of the bigger changes that had to happen.
Absolutely.
Change, yes.
But what else is some of the changes? Is just technology also been some of the big changes in the Mount Pleasant area school district?
Technology has changed since I've started the district. Scott and I have been working together many years,
Yeah,
and we work very well together. And one of the things we implemented in all our buildings in the elementary years ago was the what's this?
Elmos.
Elmos. Thank you. I drew a blank. The Elmo projectors, and every teacher in our building.
That's Elmo, ELMO?
Yes. Basically, what it is the old overhead projectors where you had to put things on that plastic sheet. The Elmo is the similar concept, but you could put anything underneath it and it projects it. You don't have to put it on a sheet. So,
Oh, yeah?
mhm. So elementary is really taken to that. They like that a lot. We just got a grant last year for $50,000 for STEM for the district, and we bought floor projectors, which actually projects images on the floor, and they can do different activities and games.
They're
Interactive.
Right, interactive. boards, so.
You mentioned STEM. We've worked with, we visited with STEM students.
Right.
And we were always impressed, always impressed. The
Yeah.
teachers there work real hard with them.
They do.
They do a nice job. That's
And the kids enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
oh, they love it. They love it. And it used to be a little secret up at Donegal. Mrs. David, who really has taken the reins and kind of run with that and built that program up. She taught with me up at Donegal, and so the only way people find out about what she was doing if I would come down here and talk about it in a meeting. And then a couple of years ago, she went to Ramsey, and everybody got to see the great things that she's doing. So it's kind of, caught. Not that she was the only one, but she really took, took initiative, and I think now a lot of people see what we're doing in our classroom. So I think you can go across the district in any grade level and see some great things happening with technology. So yeah, there's some exciting things going on. Our teachers are doing great things in the classroom right now.
Being principals, your position is more of I guess of the leader and trying to keep everybody focused as if we were a manager, right? So, looking at your team, I guess is what you call it. Are you going to be looking at new things for your teams, or do you have that kind of leeway, or does everything go through the administration of the district, or how do you implement changes?
I usually, if I have an idea, I will tell my bosses about it, but they've always been supportive. I don't think I've ever been turned down for any initiative I've wanted to do in my buildings. And, you know, we got a grant last year at Ramsey for $16,500. We bought some robots and different things for programming. We're kind of changing our technology from more than just typing on the computer and learning that to more of coding and programming. Teachers he got from Rumball were part of that. We let them take the robots with them, so he has things to do that the kids can code and things there, and staff that has already been trained on it. I have staff that's been trained on it. Michelle David came down. She brought her businesses with her, so we have 2 fifth-grade businesses. I was talking to her the other day. We already have $1,000 in sales through the business. So we have a lot of things that the kids are now being exposed to that might have just been at one building before, that now that they have an opportunity to do as well, which is nice. So that's one of the big benefits too.
You say businesses. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, she got I think it's a grant as
It's a
well.
grant. It's a grant.
And when she came down last year, she got another one of my teachers on board that taught in the same grade level, and she was able to get a grant as well. So they bought machines that allow them to put pictures on different items. They can do mugs. They can do.
We saw that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's what I thought you were relating.
right.
to.
So I have teams because there's 6 teachers in each grade level. So I have a rotation. Say 5th grade's where the business at. So you would see these 3 teachers as a student, and then you have this other team that if you're on that team, you see those 3 teachers. But each team has a business. So every kid in 5th grade gets exposed to and is able to help run the business. It is a student-run business, not an adult-run business.
Well, as the Glass Festival, we actually donate to that cause, to help them out.
Yes.
And,
Well, I tell you, today's show was a good show again about what's going on at the school district, especially with that big change. And I think you guys did a good job explaining it. And you can see you two work as a team, even though he does more work than you. But
I have some committees I take care of that, I still have on my plate. But no, we both do a lot and help each other out, and it makes it easier to do with him.
just by doing the show today, we
makes
could
the
tell.
work go along. It
Well,
goes
I hope you enjoyed the show today, and I hope you enjoy the information we give you about the school district. There was a big change this year, and I think now, after we had it explained, I think we both agree it runs pretty smooth from our point of
Well,
view.
from Ramsey end of it, it does.
So I'd say the Mount Pleasant School District is in good hands with all the new changes they're making. So for Jeff, Jerry, and the 2 principals, this is the Jeff and Jerry Show, and we'll see you next time.